Good morning, guys. Welcome back to our reading lessons. All right, so we have talked about root words. That's what we worked on yesterday. And remember, a root word is just the word that you start with before you add anything. For example, on our words starting and rewrite. In starting, the root word, remember, was start. That was the word that we started with. And then we added a suffix at the end, because when you add letters to the end, it was called a suffix. And we added ing to make a new word. We turned start into starting. And then on rewrite, write was our root word, remember. It was the word we started with. And then we added a prefix, re, to the beginning, because when we added to the beginning, it was called a prefix. And we've turned write into rewrite. And that's all you're doing with prefixes and suffixes. You're just sticking them on a root word to make a new word. But all we're worrying about this week is if we can find the root word. And I know yesterday we practiced finding the root word with all of these. We're going to go back over just really quick to make sure we remember. In untie, remember the root word was tie. In preview, the root word was view. In misspell, the root word was spell. In taller, the root word was tall. In preschool, the root word was school. In smallest, the root word was small. In reread, the root word was read. And then in non-stop, the root word was stop. And I remember yesterday I talked about if it's a root word that... We'll make that just a little smaller. If it's a root word, when we cover up the prefix or the suffix, when we take it away, it should still be a word. That will kind of help you know if it's a root word. Because, for example, like on untie, if I take off the if I take off the prefix at the beginning, we still have the word tie, which was our root word, the normal word, and we added un to it to make untie. Same thing for preview. If I take the pre away, I still have the word view, because that was our root word. That was the word we started with, and we added the prefix pre. Same thing for taller. If I take off the er, I still have tall, because tall is the root word. It's the word we started with, and I added the suffix er to make a new word. So you'll know if it's the root word because it will be a real word. And if it's not, it's probably not the root word. All right, so let's look at what I've got for today for us just to practice this. So we've got some words, and they have either prefixes added to the beginning or they have suffixes added to the end. And we are going to try to find the root word, because that's what we're working on this week. Can we find the root word? So let's look at the word cloudy, the first one. I want you to think. Cloudy. What would the root word be? What was the word that we started with? And you can think, go back to my highlighter here. You can think to yourself, did they add anything to the beginning? It's not wanting me to highlight. There we go. Did they add anything to the beginning, or did they add anything to the end? So if you're looking, you're going to look at the beginning and the end to see if there was anything added, and try to take some of it away to see if it makes sense. Do you think you know what the root word for cloudy is? Let's see if you're right. Yes, the root word of cloudy would have just been cloud. They stuck a suffix y on the end of it to make cloudy, but the original word, or the word we started with, was just cloud. All right, this one is dislocate. Like I've heard people say they dislocated maybe their shoulder or something. That just means like when your shoulder might be out of place. It's in the wrong place. That's what dislocate means. So what does dislocate mean? What's the root word? Remember, we either added something to the beginning or we added something to the end. And we're going to take it away to find the root word. Just like in cloudy, remember they'd stuck a y at the end and we took it away just to end up with cloud again. I'm going to bring my box back. we go. And we can practice kind of with that, like covering up parts of the word and seeing if it makes any sense. Are you maybe seeing a word somewhere? What can I cover up? What can I take away to make a word? I think you guys know it. Dislocate, the root word is, good, just locate. You took off the dis, it had the prefix dis. So locate was just your word. All right, what about reopen? What's your root word of reopen? What can you take away and leave the root word? Reopen. I think you guys know that one. Very good. Reopen, the root word is just open. You take off the re, because re was a prefix. You can take it away and you'll just be left with open. Good job. All right, what about rewrite? What can you take away and leave the root word? What's the root word? And remember, like I said, I know you don't have a box, but maybe you can use your hand and just cover up certain parts of the word at the beginning maybe, or parts of the word at the end, and see if it makes a word, if you're not sure. What part would make a word? What's the word? I think you got it. Uh-oh. I've lost it. Okay, let's see if it'll... Uh-oh, it's not showing up. Well, it's there. Maybe it's the wrong color or something. I'm going to change that and fix it real quick. Let's try it now. That was the problem. It was the wrong color. There we go. You're right. Rewrite changes to write. Sorry about that, guys. Rewrite changes to write. You take off the re, because that's a prefix. You can take it off the beginning and you still have write. All right, what about unsafe? What could be the root word of unsafe? I think we're getting a little better at these. I'll give you a clue. This one has a prefix at the beginning. Take off the beginning and you should have a word. Very good. Unsafe turns to just safe. Very good. You take off the un and it leaves safe. Very good. And safe is a word, so that makes sense. Good job. All right, on this one, we have 5 other words. And we're going to try and see what we can get on these ones. I'm going to let you guys try these on your own, and then you'll restart the video to see if you were correct, okay? So think about these 5 words, and you're just going to find the root word of them, okay? Take off the prefix or take off the suffix at the end and find the root word. And I am going to warn you on this one right here. Unfriendly, be really careful. It's a tricky one. Don't let it trick you, okay? See if you can figure it out. That one's a little tricky. I put it in there just to see if you could figure it out. So good luck. Go ahead and pause it. Okay, you should have already figured out what all these are. So let's look at the word unfriendly. I told you to be really careful because it was tricky. Unfriendly had a prefix at the beginning and a suffix at the end. So hopefully you realize that, oops, wrong thing. Hopefully you realize that unfriendly turns into friend. Good, the root word. We had to take off the un from the beginning, and we had to take off the ly at the end to make unfriendly was just friend. That was the plain old base, or the root word. Very good, that one was tricky. All right, lighter is a little bit easier. What was the root word of lighter? Good, it had a suffix at the end, didn't it? So if you take off the ER, you just have light. Very good. All right, what about prepay? What was the root word of prepay? Good, it had a prefix at the beginning. So if you took off the beginning, you just have Pay. Very good. And then hairy. What would the root word of hairy be? Good. It had a suffix at the end. It added a Y at the end. So if you took off the Y, you would just have hair. Very good. Hairy would turn into just hair. That's the root word. And then recheck. What is the root word of recheck? Good. Just check. You had to take off the prefix re, and it would just leave you with the word check. Very good on those root words. All right, do you think you are ready to take the quiz and find root words? I think you are. I think you are. I think you're going to do very, very well. Remember, though, if you are stuck and you're not real sure about root words, you can always message me, give me a call in Teams, and I will help you any way I can before you take this quiz. That's perfectly fine. If you are like, I'm not so sure I know what root words are, I'm still having trouble, it's okay. Message me, give me a call, and I can meet with you and I can help you a little bit more before you take this quiz. But if you feel comfortable and you know that you're going to do awesome, go take that quiz, and you guys are going to rock it. Bye, guys.